You're good.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Barrie Police Services Board for February 16th, 2023. Welcome those at headquarters, those on Teams, and those that may watch us either live or later on YouTube. I'd like to start this meeting with a land acknowledgement. In keeping with Indigenous protocol and building respectful relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in Canada, it is customary to acknowledge the traditional territories and ancestral lands of Indigenous peoples. We would like to acknowledge this sacred land on which the Barrie Simcoe Emergency Service Campus operates. It has been the site for human activity for 15,000 years. This land is the ancestral land of the Huron-Wendat and the Anishinaabe Nation. The treaty that was signed for this particular parcel of land is collectively referred to as the Williams Treaty. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture. We also recognize enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Miigwech. A motion to approve the agenda that was distributed. Mr. Khan. Seconder. Mr. Khan, thank you. We'll note there is no number 7. That's just so we'll jump from 6 to 8 in the agenda. Any questions, comments with respect to the agenda? Seeing none, those in favor? Thank you. Does any members of the board have to declare a conflict of interest with respect to today's agenda? Seeing none. Also included in our package in advance was our minutes from our meeting of January 19th, 2023. A motion to approve those. Mr. Khan. Seconder, Ms. Strawn, thank you. Any questions, comments, amendments with respect to the minutes? Seeing none, those in favor? Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is just correspondence. That was in our package. That was the board's support for Toronto Police Service, the Ontario Chiefs of Police, etc., requesting that the federal government look at bail reform. So a letter was sent on behalf of the board acknowledging that. There were 3 items in today's consent agenda that were provided in advance: staff acknowledgements, public complaints, and military leave annual report. Any questions or comments from the board with respect to those consent agenda items? Thank you. A motion to approve them. Mr. Khan. Sorry.
A young lady stated that was. I was just moving it. Sorry.
Any comments? Those in favor of the consent agenda items? Thank you. Also, again, in our package in advance, there was a list of special constables, a motion to approve the appointment of special constables. They're listed in the, is it Beasley? My glasses, Broly, Drury, Candle, and Nagpal. A motion to appoint those special constables. Mr. Khan, Ms. Strawn, any questions, comments, or concerns? Those in favor? Great, thank you. Chief Johnston, over to you, please, for your update, sir.
Thank you, Board Chair. Just confirming you can hear me okay. Excellent. Okay.
It's a little scattered, I think, but we'll get through it.
Perhaps I'll turn off my my video and then just go to straight audio.
I think that's good, Chief.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better, Chief. Thank you.
Excellent, will do. So thank you, Board Chair, Board. So I'm here to present the Chief's update for the month of January, but covered in February. And so we'll begin this month with our standard CAD or computer-aided dispatch calls for service, our monthly stat slide, so you're aware This is a high-level, broad volume infographic in terms of letting you know what the police service is looking at in terms of on a monthly basis. I can advise you, and again, I would ask you to take a close look when you see 501 community service events created in our computer-aided dispatch. 224 of those are hotspot community checks. So as we move throughout this year, I will put a focus on that so our community understands that we are really, our frontline members are out there and are being very deliberate and specific in where they are and when they're there to purposely reduce social disorder, high harm crime, as well as volume crime. I'm going to jump right into our community events. So on January 25th, myself, Deputy Allen attended the launch of the Barrie's Anti-Racism Task Force website. So this task force was comprised of volunteers, helping to continue to evolve Barrie into a city that celebrates its rich, growing cultural diversity. Barrie Police Service is committed to actively working with the task force in addressing racism and growing a more positive understanding and representation of the city's racialized groups. Also included in the slide here is our February 5th, and it's hashtag choose to include. So once again, the Barrie Police Service participated in the Special Olympics Ontario Choose to Include Donut campaign, and all proceeds from this campaign go to Choose to Include to assisting providing daily sports programming for thousands of athletes with intellectual disabilities in our community. And I will note the donuts were particularly delicious. I don't think they were fat-free, but they were magnificent. February 14th, Show the Love campaign during the month of February. And I really want to draw attention to this. More than 6,500 handmade Valentine's Day cards and letters were dropped off by the staff and students from numerous Simcoe County schools, Georgian College, Catholic Family Services, and several other community agencies. And it is a testament to the strength of our community, and certainly a thought going out to all of our seniors in the different homes. On February 14th, Special Constable Caledine and Constable Julie Reynolds delivered the cards and letters to local seniors and residents of long-term care throughout our city, and obviously showing them the richly deserved love and kindness. It's one of those times where sometimes people are quite lonely, and I think this is a really positive community. The participation of our community is so vital in situations like this, and it is nice to see. And a huge 6,500 is a wonderful number. So we also celebrated February as it is Black History Month. Our EDI committee created and shared this poster with our members, and it highlights the local and free events celebrating Black history within Barrie. This month and throughout the year, the Barrie Police Service is committed to listening to, learning from, and working with Black community members and organizations as we continue to strengthen and enhance a sense of trust and legitimacy in policing. Some staff highlights. So January 23rd, the Barrie Police Service business analyst, Victoria Tumulowicz, attended the OACP's first inaugural Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion training course. So this course was to provide those undertaking EDI roles with the necessary knowledge and skills to navigate the changing complexities faced by community policing organizations and communities across Ontario. All the content was presented by and delivered by subject matter experts within and outside of policing. Supporting our members to participate in such training as this will move our organizational culture forward, providing proactive and responsive policing services that better reflect and align with evolving demographics of Barrie's population. We are committed to being a leading voice on this. February 14th, Indigenous Trauma-Informed Training. This was held at Liberty North. I actually popped in for the morning and a little bit towards the afternoon. In partnership with the Barrie Native Friendship Center, our service hosted a full day of interactive training that focused on Indigenous trauma-informed training. A total of 90 attendees participated, including justice workers, social service workers, and several of our sworn and civilian members attended. Presenters Myrna McCallum is the developer of trauma-informed lawyering, and she has shared her lived experience as an Indigenous woman who found her calling within her profession. And she spoke quite eloquently about when she started and doing the best she could at the time, but then the more she learned caused her to change her direction vastly. And it was one of those where when you know better, do better, and she certainly spoke very well about that. Presenter Dan Jones is a retired inspector from the Edmonton Police Service who spoke to human trafficking, sex work regulations, and how it impacts Indigenous women within Canada. And we're well aware of the disproportionality that human trafficking has in overrepresentation of Indigenous women within that societal problem. We are a learning organization, providing our members with enhanced victim-focused, trauma-informed training. We will better develop their awareness and approach to trauma response while balancing empathy within service delivery. This is on a go-forward basis another area of focus for our police service. So we welcome new members. This month, the Barrie Police Service welcomed 5 new casual special constables and 2 IT specialists. Members are seen here pledging their oath of secrecy and are excited to begin their career with the Barrie Police Service. As of tomorrow, our special constables will finish our training unit, but begin shadowing with a senior special constable assigned to the courthouse on Monday. I can report that our newest IT specialists have seamlessly transitioned into the IT unit and are excelling within their respective roles. And we are heavily reliant on IT as a future-focused organization. So we are very thankful for their addition. So this is a really nice highlight for our service. The Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police HQ magazine. So Barrie Police Services organizational researcher, Madison Sharman, who the board is very familiar with, and our community will be increasingly familiar with, was recently published in OACP's quarterly magazine with an article focused on implementing evidence-based policing within a police operational setting. The article discusses the importance of moving academic concepts into police practice, the need for more police services to participate in research in Canada, and the importance of targeting, testing, and tracking all research projects and initiatives. Lastly, the article focused on some lessons learned at the Barrie Police Service, specifically the importance of organizational buy-in when shifting to an evidence-based practice. And as well, some more famous people from our service. In the February issue of the Law Enforcement Torch Run Provincial Snapshot magazine, they recognized in the picture Barrie Police Service's own Nicholas Cunningham and Inspector Carl Moore were featured in the Special Olympics Provincial Snapshot newsletter, which highlights Nick's work within our quartermaster unit and fleet services. Nick started with our service last spring and quickly became a key member of our team. We, along with many of our other policing agencies, continue to support all of our Special Olympic athletes through initiative participation such as the Law Enforcement Torch Run, and more notably the upcoming Polar Plunge on Saturday, March 4th. And that this is an open invitation to the Barrie Police Services board members. Please come join me as I jump in the cold water. I know our board chairs. I'm trying to encourage him to jump in. Kempenfelt Bay is beautiful this time of year. So in January, a group of our members attended community consultation, immigrant experiences in Simcoe County. This is a meeting, meeting where they heard from newcomers. So this is our members attended there, and they heard from new people to Canada. And as a result of this meeting and a survey that was taken, we learned that our newcomers wish to engage more with the local library and emergency services. So following that meeting, a collective effort involving the YMCA newcomer services, the Barrie Public Library, and our service, members planned a 3-part storytime series called Creating Connections. The goal of this is to connect newcomers with library and police services in a safe and fun way. sort of demystifying the concept of a police service or a police force from other countries, but as a police service in Canada, very much we want to be part of the community. On February 14th, the first event was held at the YMCA Newcomer space, and as you can see, it was a great success. Lots of smiles. The second session will be held next week at the Holly Library, with the third being hosted by us at the Barrie Simple Emergency Campus. We're excited to have that happen. On January 31st, the Barrie Police Services Board released the 2023-2025 strategic plan. This plan identifies the priorities for our service over the next 3 years and describes the aspirational vision, mission, and values we all strive to embody. This is a simplified one-page document that everyone has seen. A full and interactive version can be found on the Barrie Police Service website at www.barriepolice.ca, and Barrie Police is all lowercase, one word. And that, Chair, concludes the Chief's update for this month.
Thanks, Chief Johnson. Before I open it up to questions, please be advised I will not be jumping in Kempenfeld Bay with you. Ms. Strawn has actually volunteered to do that, so you two can coordinate that. Any questions for the chief from the board? Not seeing anything. Then our next board meeting is March the 16th, and a motion to adjourn today's meeting. Mr.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Be safe out there.